Welcome to part 2 of our interview with hilarious comedian Judah Friedlander, whose Netflix special it premieres October 31st. So how does this come out through your... So now a lot of people tell you can't talk about this stuff in a comedy club.
I just do it. I kind of never, throughout my whole career, I've always been told no. I've always been told you don't fit in. You can't work this club. You don't wear a jacket. You don't have short hair. You don't, you might cuss. I've always been told no, and I've always just kind of never listened to anybody, and I don't like show business. The business side can drive you insane. I do it. I would be doing comedy if I made zero money. I would be doing it. It's what I do, So I try to always look at it as an art form, and then I get less pissed off about things because the show business part it's not like sports, where generally the fastest person actually wins the race. Comedy is not that way. Acting isn't that way. It's a weird business. It's a smoke and mirrors business, and that doesn't mean that good things do sneak through sometimes and get in sometimes, but a lot of crap gets through too. So I just if I'm not being me, man, I'm not going to do it. I couldn't live with selling out and doing that stuff. I got to do what I do, and I mean, just like with this special, I'm really glad Netflix is putting it out. I made it on my own. I'm really glad they're putting it out. When I made it, I didn't know that they would buy it. I thought there was a chance they might, and I also thought there was a good chance they'll be like, nope, because it's too whatever. It might be too anti-corporate, too anti-Hollywood, too whatever. But they did, and so I'm glad because it's a big platform, and as an artist, you just want to get as many people as you can to see your stuff, basically. So that's what I do. I just try to do good work and just put it out there, and then once it's out there, people can do what they want with it. So
yeah, I mean, I imagine that you were met with a bevy of no's,
and I still am. I remember, I had day jobs when I first started stand-up. I had day jobs for probably 7 years or more. Never went for a career job. Always just whatever would make the rent. And, while other comics I knew were already working plenty and, didn't have to have day jobs. But it's hard, and but I think, you always got to be you, and you got to just stick it out, and you got to fight for yourself because in general, not even just showbiz, in society, it's always trying to make you conform, no matter what it is, whether it's in politics, the Democrats are trying to make you conform this way, the Republicans are trying to make you conform this way. They're always trying to get you, and just in the world in general, no matter whether it's clothing, whether it's, what school, I mean, look at school. I mean, I always hated school. I love learning. I hated school, because when I was in school, they taught you to memorize things, but it seemed like they got angry when you thought and you had your own thinking. They're like I remember even when in like English classes, you have to read a book, and then you would read literary critics and criticism of their point on that book, and then they make you write a paper about what happened in the book and what these other literary critics thought about the book, not ever what you thought about the book. And then when you're in school and you do you read history, and then you read like a Howard Zinn book or something like that, and you're like, oh, this is like I remember a few years ago I was reading about the Vietnam War, and it's like in Vietnam they call that war the American War. They don't call it the Vietnam War.
Oh,
I mean, it's like when you start looking at things from different angles, you're like, oh, because this country in general, since we're far away from a lot of other countries, and our media is bigger than a lot of other medias, it's like so many people don't realize how brainwashed they might be and how much propaganda is out there,
Right.
And so when you start if you start traveling and going to other countries, you can actually learn more about your own country. And then about 7-8 years ago, I started doing stand-up shows in Europe, and that's when I really started to see, my own country more, and because I've always been into human rights issues and stuff. But when you can step away from it, you can really see it a lot more.
Yeah, like when you visit, you don't know your hometown until you leave it.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I remember I was in Sweden doing shows. I was in Stockholm. Stop me if I told you the story before. I don't think I did. So I'm in Stockholm. A few of comedians from Stockholm are taking me around, and I've been on the road in Europe for like a week or two. I was like, I got to do laundry. I have no clean clothes. The clothes I'm wearing are already old and dirty. So I go to them. I need to find a laundromat. Is there a laundromat in here? Because I went on Yelp, couldn't find anything, and they go, laundromat. No, I can't think of any laundromats. I'm like, this is Stockholm. This is your biggest city. How do you not have a laundromat? And they go, oh, well, that's because all of the apartment buildings, they come with laundry machines in them. So you don't have to go outside. You can just do it in your own apartment or in your building. So when someone makes an apartment building in Stockholm, they either make it with laundry machines in the apartment or in the building that you can use. So you don't have to go to a fucking laundromat. It's like, who would have thought that?
Who would have thought? What?
Like, wow, just a little bit more thinking to fucking
And
reach a hand out and help somebody.
Who's the asshole in America who thought about building apartment buildings without fucking having a washing center in it, right? Why would you not have? They can go out.
Yeah, I remember there's...
Somebody drag all your shit out and drag it.
Another smart thing they had, we're walking outside, we're going up a big flight of steps outdoors, and it's one of those where the handrail is in the middle, and then the stairways are on the side of it. So on the stairs, like right near where the handrail is, it's smooth. It's not stairs. It's smooth for like 4 inches. And I'm seeing this everywhere. I'm like, dude, what is this? Why is it smooth there? And they're like, oh, that's if you have a bicycle, you can just roll it up and down, and you don't have to carry it. I'm like, how fucking dumb is this country that we don't have that? You know,
right.
Like, something so small makes such a big difference.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of thinking and thinking about other people, not just yourself, and can make life better. So there's all. So then you start thinking about, oh, healthcare. Yeah, that's a little one that and everyone has it, but we don't have it.
We don't have it here because who's going to pay for that?
And
Judah?
the Democrats and the Republicans. I mean, of course, the Republicans will shit on that, but the Democrats will be like, I mean, now they're just starting to turn a little bit on it, just a little bit, But
people will tell you, Judah, so you can't turn a cruise ship around on a dime. It takes a while.
Yeah.
I'm like, how fucking long will you have to wait for universal? They've had it in England since '48. They've had it in Canada since the '60s.
Yeah.
How long do we have to wait in the United States? The next live Jimmy Dore show is November 6th in Burbank, California, and November 12th in Portland, Oregon. Link for tickets right there.